We're live, Garry.
Hello, have you missed me?
Well, we had a great time while you were gone.
I know.
Me and
Lisa,
Lisa.
Lisa and you had fun and frolics from what I
We
can hear.
did.
I
We
haven't had a
did.
chance to watch them yet, so but I will do.
We definitely did have fun and frolics. We had a really great time. Okay. Sarah's top of the show. Hey, Sarah. Pia's here. Hello, Pia.
Hi, Pia.
It used to be my Sunday name. What did? Miss that. Hi, Sis Tracy Gray. Hi, Angie Medler's here. Hi, Angie. Vicky Ware's here, of course. Good morning, everyone from Australia.
Morning.
We're only 15 minutes late. I do apologise. Leah Melling's here. Hello, Leah.
Yeah.
Aston's here. Happy, shiny, piss.
Good God. Happy, shiny people. Missed you all. Would you like help with your words today, Lindsay?
Melanie McCrow's here. Hello, Melanie.
Hi,
Good
Melanie.
to see you. Judy's here. Hi, from two screens. Probably only one as the athletics is on. Yeah.
Hi, David. Hi, Judy.
Oh, Garry Hinson's here. Hello, everyone. Have you missed me?
Hi, Garry.
Stephanie's here. It's been a while. Miss you guys. We've missed you too, Stephanie. How's things?
Hi, Stephanie.
I know you've been very worried of late about frogs, etc. Tell us how things are going. Aston says, loved Lisa and missed you too. Both realities happening at the same
time.
Yeah. Have you noticed how Gary's growing a separate head above his left eye?
What? Yeah.
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 You got stung, didn't you?
We had a party. And it was my mother-in-law's 80th. And we had a party outside, and I was sat there minding my own business, getting rather jolly, and something in the middle of the night just smacked me in the head and stung me. So it's going down now, but it still looks a bit eye-like, doesn't it?
It does. God, I had to swallow them. They forgot what you look like. Look, Lisa didn't have a clacker though. No, she didn't have a clacker. Trisha Ann's here. Hey girl, sending Debbie up to you. Hopefully she gets an eco cleaner than she got my guy. So she's saying, hey girl, not to us. Certainly not to you. I certainly don't think it'd be to you. She's saying that to Stephanie.
I think that's probably to Stephanie.
Yeah, Lisa was great. Hi, Sis Sandra, all the way from Czech. Hello, one of our HMB pros. Hello, darling. Louise is here, finally able to listen in again. Always so helpful and fun. Good. I'm glad it's helpful.
Let's hope so.
Fun. We don't know what we're doing. We never know what we're doing. Maggie Thrussell's here. Hi, everyone. Has everyone been able to help Biljana? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Things are happening on that front. We will update you accordingly. Biljana is the grandmother. She's granny, and the daughter who owns the horse is called Taya, with her mum. She owns the horse. So I've had a lovely, long, big conversation with Taya this evening, and we have a plan. So looking okay. So far, so good. Martina's here. Hello, everyone. Sarah says we've got some trim to get through on Friday, Garry. Think I'll need to dig out 90s sweatbands. What's she on about? Oh, you're doing a live with her, are you? You're doing a call with her.
We brought it forward because there was a lot of foot there.
Is this on Squire?
No.
This is on Hamish.
Millie, I think.
Oh, Millie.
Millie, I think. I think I've got the name right.
Yep, she's working directly with me. Indeed. Finally able to watch a live, says Alicia Howard. It's lovely to have you here. Hurrah!
Hey, Alicia.
Thank goodness my heart goes out to her, says Maggie. Yep. Evening, but there's things to say about that. I might have some things to say about that whole thing, which absolutely, sorry, Deb, even
we were just talking about it on a walk.
Yeah, we were.
And we'll talk about it later once we've done all the hellos. But with this group, and people bringing us your stories just shows how much absolute bollocks the vets and the farrier and the equine world are in. They absolutely, in some circumstances, I have to say most, have no bloody clue.
Shocking.
We've been in this business a long time, but having you lot bringing all of your stories in, I have to say, I didn't appreciate how much of a shit show it is.
We did. We
I'm
knew
sorry.
it was. We knew it was a shit show, but
oh my God, it's just to the extent of such.
Well, lives are being lost.
Yes, it's sheer
lives
stupidity.
are being lost everywhere.
I know we may laugh and cuss and swear and all of those things, and it ain't funny. It ain't funny.
Lives are being lost everywhere. Giving up. We're hearing it's so easy. That therapeutic option that doctors don't have with human beings, they have with horses, well, they have with any animal, and they give up. Oh no. And you know why? Because what's in the future, what they see in their future is failure. It's going to fail. We might as well just do the deed now and put the horse to sleep, because it's not a pretty road, and down the other end of there we're going to be putting him to sleep anyway, so that's empty. Might as well. No real thought behind why are we failing, why are we continuing to fail, why are we failing so much that I heard today that a 5-year-old horse with absolutely no hyperrotation in her feet at all, nothing, in fact, if anything, she's a little bit negative, the vets are telling her that best to put them to sleep. Nothing wrong. Barely anything wrong. Well, certainly with the feet. But it was all about the feet, which is the reason they x-rayed. I don't know what they're seeing, what they've been taught, but they are so far down the rabbit hole. We are hemorrhaging horses left, right, and centre. Yep. On top of all the awful things that are happening with the suffering and the terrible hoof care. Wow, it's the biggest shit show on earth. I can tell you that now.
It is.
Karen's here. Hello, Karen. Hi, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers. Sarah, thank you for the help today, Julie. So interesting regarding the essential oils. Can't wait to try it. Oh, very good, very good.
I just had a delivery.
Ooh. What have you got?
New essential oils.
What have you got? Tell us. Quickly go through them.
Well, they're all in French. So
yeah, but you know what you ordered.
I know. Peppermint, lavender, rosemary.
I wish it was sniffy TV.
German chamomile.
Don't like the smell of that.
Oh, cinnamon and lemon. And
why have you got new essential oils, Garry?
Because some of my other ones had run out.
And are you going to be using them, Garry?
I hope so. That is the plan.
Great. On what?
That is the plan.
On
well, Carmen and Casimir. That's
Carmen and Casimir. Going to get some zoo farmer sessions. How lovely.
Yeah,
very
and
nice.
Anybody else that comes along when they get a whiff.
Oh, I love watching those sessions. Zoo pharmacognosy sessions are just good because they just are chill out sessions as well. Just so lovely watching the and just lovely watching the horses just chill. I love it. Caroline's here. Hello, everybody from Portugal. Good to see you. You'll love them and really enjoy getting into it with your four-leggeds and for your horse. Great journey. Well, there, look at everybody's into the essential oils. Good morning from New Zealand, says Joe Kirk. Hello.
Hi, Joe.
Nikki's here. Hi, all. I trimmed my first donkey yesterday.
Oh, I want to see pictures. Love donkey feet.
Brilliant. I look forward to seeing the pictures. Jackie Kennedy's here.
I also want to know whether it was a karate donkey.
Well, they seem to be doing quite well at the moment. They don't seem to have the ninja karate expert donkeys as we it'll come.
We experience. Perhaps it's where the problems are.
Maybe. God, Garry, you need to change that thing on your forehead.
It's not that big. It's just that
It's
the
quite
lighting
large.
is not doing very good.
Catherine's
Just switch
here.
the
Hello,
lighting
Charlie
on.
Brown. Trisha Ann, of course. Hello
There you
to
go,
you and
that's better.
everyone. Hurricane. Oh, the hurricane. Hurricane has just passed and it's going up north towards Steph. So that's what that was all about. So happy to be back with the lives. It's so good to see you two. We haven't seen you for a long time, and you are a couple of our founding members of the Phoenix group. And where are we now? 8.7 thousand?
8.7. Last time I looked.
Popping up to 8.8 very soon, I think. Amazing. Stephanie says, I love essential oils. I'm actually a distributor for Young Living. I use them on my horse. I use them about myself. I sell them, love them. Great stuff. Into them. We love essential oils. Okay. I don't know if I've seen you before. Have I said that right? I sold. Tell us if we said it right. My friend's 7-year-old was put to sleep a few months ago after toxic laminitis, devastating for us all. She had started going sound but got lamer again after Safaria trimmed her, and the vet advised put to sleep a few days later. There were x-rays, but I never saw them. That's how I found myself here, hoping to protect my EMS girl from a similar fate. I am so sorry to hear about your friend and toxic laminitis. And I can't say, but it is likely if they took foot x-rays and then they said that's the end of that, what they were seeing was not toxic laminitis, but there we go. We can't say anything much, can we? Because
no.
But if rotation was mentioned, that was hoof care. Vivian's here. Hello, all the way from California. Driving, going to see my Maisie. Maisie's liking her water bucket with a Montrealite clay these days. Lovely. That's lovely. Give her a big hug. Give Maisie a big hug for us. Right. So what should we talk about today? Well, I think we should have a very quick talk about the laminitis that was diagnosed in Biljana's horse, because we've got that on Facebook on the Phoenix group. Now I don't know whether to go. I don't know whether they. Yes, because she gave us all those x-rays, didn't she? So I'm going to show you them. I'm sure they won't mind. I'm going to show you them in my Canva. Let me find them. Let me see if I can find them. This is what you get when you join the Phoenix group. You could be showing the world. Okay, now, wait a minute, because I just have to disguise some names because that would not be good. I can't have the vets' names on there. Just hold on one moment. Be with you soon, callers. Just hold on. Just hold on. So these are the images that Biljana shared with us, and these are the image I'm going to talk about with you. I'm going to put them, excuse me, I'm going to put them all the way over here because there are other images I'm not going to show because she did not put those up in the group, I don't think. So it's only these images that I'm going to show you. Okay, right. I just want to take her name off. I'm just going to put that. Good. Right, here we go. Let me share my screen with you. Come on, Lindsay. Choppity. What are you doing wrong? Oh, it's disappeared. Just hold on, callers. I'll be with you. Right. Right, here we go. No, I don't want to invite anybody. I want to present. Present, share screen. I'm sorry about my croaky voice. I have a bit of a sore throat because I've got an ulcer on the back of my tongue. Just tell you about my ailments for a minute. And my voice is just so weak from so much talking. I don't know how it's ever going to get strong again. All right. So let's have a quick look at these x-rays. Can everybody see them? Garry, can you see them?
Yeah.
Let me put you
All
over
good.
there so I can see what's going on. Right. So we're going to have a very quick scan through these x-rays. These are the x-rays of a fairly young horse. He is only 13. And there's some unusual things about this. When I first saw it, I shouldn't do this, but I automatically, because we only had this x-ray over here, this one. So I automatically just went right 4, like you do, until I was told that in actual fact, that's not the right 4, that's the right hind. And this is the left hind. And these here are the left and right 4s. Now, laminitis, you are told, causes P3 rotation, causes separation, causes all sorts of problems, and metabolic issues. You've got 3 types of laminitis that they have defined in the University of Queensland. One of started there. I don't know whether that is they are behind those complete definitions, but Von Epps talks about these 3 definitions. You have endocrinopathic laminitis, so that is hormonal, so to do with the diet, to do with insulin levels, to do with issues, metabolic issues. Then you have supporting limb laminitis that they talk about, where you'll get laminitis in one limb and not in the other limb, because that limb suddenly has a rotated pedal bone. I think we've discussed this before, haven't we? The one thing nobody thinks about is the hoof care of the limb that now cannot be picked up and trimmed. And we have septic laminitis. So if they go into a toxic situation like Isol just talked about there, where we have septic laminitis. But in all of these cases, what they're seeing is rotation. So they put 2 and 2 together and make 102, because they believe that rotation is connected to that. It isn't. This horse here that you're looking at right now, the owners were told that this horse was having an acute laminitic attack. Isn't it interesting that this horse's attack just happened to be on one hind foot? That one. They saw this, they saw rotation, because they have been taught that rotation is basically DDFT pulling P3 through the capsule because it's lost its connection here. They don't think any further than that. They go, oh, that's it. This horse has got laminitis. Interesting, though, isn't it, that there's no separation here. There's a teeny tiny bit because of the incorrect hoof care and because of how this horse has been trimmed, but really nothing to write home about. This is more distorted hoof wall, so there's really nothing going on there. Nothing there. Look at that lovely tight. I mean, you wouldn't think this was the same horse, would you? And then again here. Now let's go through those 3 laminitises, shall we? Endocrinopathic laminitis. So it's a hormonal imbalance. It's metabolic. You've got something wrong. That's what's caused this foot to rotate. Well, they did a blood test. Nothing wrong with him. Nothing wrong with him at all. Okay, let's have supporting limb laminitis. It's a hind foot. He is definitely not been standing on that foot because it's been sore, because he's had abscesses in it. Right, so it's not that one. So that's the 2. That's 2 out the window. How about the third one then? Toxic, septic laminitis. He has no temperature. He's not poorly. He's bright. There's really nothing wrong with him. Right. How did that happen then? How did a horse that's been diagnosed as having laminitis, because they see this and that says, computer says no, it's nothing else, it's got to be, there's only one thing that causes rotation. It's laminitis. Right. Well, unless there's been a fourth version that's just recently come out, which we've not heard about, which is hind limb laminitis. This horse has not got laminitis of any of those three categories, which are the three categories that now are, everybody is told you will fit into one of those. And so diet and management would be part of the endocrinopathic one because that affects hormone levels, etc. So that's the situation you have. So clearly that is not the case. And just for a moment, let's say there was a fourth category of some other description of laminitis. Why are the front feet perfectly fine? Does laminitis just happen in one foot? Well, they tell you that it does with supporting limb laminitis. But no, he has definitely not been supporting his other legs or his other hind leg with this right hind. I hope what you can see is that the fourth category that exists, which is the one that is the biggest problem of all time, is this one. Let's just stick it up here. Begins with a P. Then there's another P. And then there's a T. And what does that stand for? That stands for personal preference trimming. That's the laminitis that this horse is suffering from, because there is no doubt whatsoever that in this situation right now, those laminae that are in there that are being effectively forced away from a good connection by the fact that P3 is in this hyperpositive position, there's no doubt there's inflammation in that foot. It'll be sore. It is sore because he's not weight bearing. And he gradually got sorer and sorer as this P3 went further and further, more hyper-rotated. That is incorrect hoof care. This horse is not suffering from the acute laminitis that they said he was. In fact, this horse, they wanted to PTS. They wanted to PTS him on Monday when he went into the clinic because his lovely owner took him in there because he was lame, and the feet have been looking crazy for a while, and the back feet, and he went downhill when he went into the clinic. Well, because he's stressed. He's obviously now being put on pain killers, etc., pain meds, and he was also put on other meds. And then he started to stock up in his legs, so he started to swell up because he wasn't moving. And this has not been defined, incidentally, as of yet, that there isn't an abscess in there, because there likely is, because of the amount of entry holes into this capsule that there are, because of the fact that this foot is in such a state. This is misdiagnosis. This horse has not got acute. I see that. I see it. This horse has not got laminitis. Now, isn't it crazy? Because there's another thing that you hear bandied around the world, that horses don't get laminitis in their hind feet. Well, if they do, here it is. No. They've gone down the rabbit hole and they don't know how to bring themselves back. This horse has been suffering for a time with these hind feet because they've been obsessing over these hind feet and they've been trimming them incorrectly. He has got thrush. He has got a deep-seated thrush. He's got stinking pussy thrush in a contracted frog, because prior to them owning him, because they rescued him, I think, prior to them owning him, he'd had another life. And that other life, they don't know for sure, but probably did was being shod. Isn't it crazy that these two front feet look pretty good, actually? They don't look that bad at all. And then you can have two hind feet that look like that. Now, normally, I would look at these. If somebody just chucked these in front of me without me even having more than 30 seconds of a glance, I would have gone, these two are the front left and front right, because that's what we normally see, because they usually cock up those feet. And these are the hind feet, because that's what we usually see. If I'd have taken a closer look, I'd have gone, oh yeah, look at the way that this P3 is shaped. That's usually in hind feet, which is why it looks like there's a little bit more separation here than normally, because of this bull nosing. In the past, he would have probably had bull-nosed outer hoof wall, but this kind of shaping does happen. P3 can be shaped in lots of different ways. You can see it is slightly in that shape there too on the front feet, and he's got that little bit of shape there on his front right, but not so much. So I would have looked at that initially and gone, oh crikey, yeah, look at that, typical. Isn't it amazing how they can trim the hind feet okay and screw up the fronts? But no, it's the other way round on this horse. And that's because he had these nasty infections and abscesses, his foot distorted. They left his heels above the hard sole plane because they never trimmed to the hard sole plane. And I'm not talking about the owners here, I'm talking about the professionals. And when I asked the owner, the lovely owner, how many hoof care providers this horse had, I don't think she could have counted them, because this horse has moved around a little bit as well. All these people having a go is honestly what it is, isn't it, Gary? They're having a go and not getting it right.
And having no constant to follow.
No constant to follow, because they've not got a constant.
No.
They therefore are screwing up the balance. Now, here's the interesting thing. Let's look at these feet. Because he's not fully, these don't look like they're the same, because he's not fully weight bearing on here. He just hasn't put his foot down. But this is fairly balanced. They are a little bit low in angle, but you know, some horses naturally are like that. When you have toe wall on the ground, which he has pretty much here, you have something to balance to. So you can balance. If you can balance pretty much from your heel to toe, you don't remove that toe wall, you're going to end up with P3 in a reasonable position. If you follow the hard sole plane and you balance, P3 is going to be in the exact position that horse needs to be in. As long as you don't allow compaction, you don't allow bars to overgrow and further compact the back of the foot. But look, when we come over here, they've removed the toe. He's got a ton of sole in there that is extra thick. Look, this is the thickness of his sole right here. This one, he's got a ton of toe in there. This is what we call slightly broken back. However, having said that, this horse moved, and his P2 and P1 are actually quite upright, and I don't think he's properly weight bearing on his heel. Had he been properly weight bearing, this P3 wouldn't have quite looked the same as that. Okay, they've got nothing to balance to, so it's a bit guesswork. Hence the reason why we've now got tons of sole on this one. We don't really know where we're going with it, because we haven't got anything we can really balance to. And then we pop over to this one, and you've gone to hell in a handbasket. There's been so much toe removal that and heels being left and underrun, very, very underrun. And he's also not weight bearing properly, obviously, because this foot is problematic. But the trim is all wrong, because they have got no balance point. They have been trimming forward and removing sole, trying to meet the hoof wall that they've continually removed. And what does that mean? It means we thin the sole. Look, too much sole. We just don't know what we're doing here. We've just kind of balanced to this area, but we're not doing the hard sole plane. We've just left sole. And this one we've removed sole because we've removed this toe so much, and this area has been infected. It's got a big hole in it. An infection has got in there. Everything's going to pieces. This hoof has changed angle at least 3 or 4 times. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 times. I can see that hoof has changed angle, which means that these heels have been inconsistent. They've been going up and down because of the angle changes. Sorry?
Guessing.
And this part of the sole now is not substantial. This hasn't got a great deal of structure to it because you can see that, can't you? Compared to this, which has got too much, excessive. But we go back to here, look, it's pretty normal. Now we go back over to here, it's like, no, that's not normal anymore. What may happen with this sole is it may just start to break apart. But that's not, if that happens, it can happily heal. But what they told this owner was that P3 had rotated because of laminitis and was sinking down through the capsule. It hasn't. The coronary band is exactly where it needs to be, right where the coronary band is from this one. Okay, it's slightly higher back here, but this is the heels that are causing that. But where it starts over here is exactly the same as this. It hasn't sunk. It isn't going through the capsule. That's not what's happened at all. This foot has been scalped. It's been badly trimmed, badly balanced, toe removal constantly. If you look at the length of this foot, I haven't quite got the bones in the right size, but they're roughly similar. But if you look at the length of the toe on this one, if you look at the length of the toe on this, and then you look at the length of the toe on this one, there's just not enough. It's just going off in that direction, and there's just not enough left here. So if we take, if I get my little magic lines, I want a red color. Shall we choose red? Red. Red's nice. And oh, hold on a moment. Should give it a 2. Right. Let's get in here and draw some lines. This is where the coronary band is. So you can see all these angle changes. Boop. There we go. Oh, so many angle changes. Boop. Yeah, that's that. All of that. That is just responding to what's going on back here. That does this because of this. It doesn't do this because of endocrinopathic laminitis, supporting limb laminitis, or toxic laminitis, because that has not happened. This has happened because this has happened, because P3 has been put into a hyper-positive state. What positives can we take out of this? Well, one of the positives is that he does not have, at this moment in time, degeneration of the tip of P3. However, he has got some changes going on to P3, and I have to tell you, that's common as muck. P3 does remodel itself from the Palmer processes right to the very tip of P3, through constant imbalances. You can see it from the hoof wall, look, right? Constant imbalances, constantly going through imbalances. Now, were there dietary issues involved with this? Probably. But that's not the reason that this is all looking like this. The reason this is looking like this is because they've lost their way. Completely and utterly lost their way. So there we've got P3. Look at the difference in the angle of this to that. Can you see? Look at the difference. Let's just get this over here. Stretch my red line. Can you see the difference? They're not quite the same size because then I haven't got the bones the same, so I haven't had time to do that. But see the difference in angle? Now, this can be fixed really quite simply, but what we can't do now is we can't do anything to the front of here. So if we were to... Oh, I'm sorry. If we were to draw in where the foot would have been for this horse, roughly. Let's just do that at the right angle. Let's give him a bit of hoof wall there. Let's just draw it where it would have been. Let's pop that up a little bit. Let's get that down a little bit. This is just a rough drawing. But that would have been his foot. And if we... Let's just get rid of these ones out of here. Oh, wrong one. That one. That one. Oh, I won't get rid of it. If we group that together and we put this foot where it should be, there you go. There's his foot. But look, he's got absolutely nothing under here, because as this foot distorted, as the heels went up and the hoof wall distorted, they started taking the toe because they believe there's lever forces and helping his breakover. I mean, pardon. And then by doing that, they overthin, and before you know it, he's got nothing left. And the foot is gone absolutely. You can't even see where that foot is meant to be anymore. Oh, hello. Let's just ungroup that a minute. Now we're at this stage. You got to let that thing go. You got to trim it where it needs to be, and do not trim from around here. And what will happen, roughly, is that the new growth will be trying to come down. That growth will be going up to Timbuktu, and you're going to end up with a foot that's going to look really crazy. But this horse needs to be left alone at the toe. All of this nastiness, this infection needs to grow out. It all needs to grow out. It just needs to be left alone to grow foot again. No matter how distorted it is, let him grow some more foot so that P3 can be protected. And for goodness sake, balance his foot and take the heels down. Now, this isn't the owner's fault. They rely on hoof care professionals, and this is what they do to the horse's feet. And let's just look at his balance. If we go and look at these two, they're not that bad. These were easy horses. These were easy feet. There was no distortion. They didn't feel that there was any distortion in there. So they were able to keep it relatively balanced. Not too bad at all. When we come over to here, it starts going haywire. Balance isn't quite right. And that causes all sorts of changes to P3. And then we get to this one. We're like, wow. He's high on one side, low on the other, low on this one, high on that side. One of the reasons that he hasn't ended up with significant side bone is because this is a hind foot. And he hasn't been particularly weight bearing on it because he doesn't have to be. The good news is it's a hind foot, which means that he can rest it a lot. But folks, until the world starts to realize that this is all down to incredibly poor trimming, then frankly, we are going to be losing and hemorrhaging horses left, right, and center. This horse wouldn't even be with us right now if the vets had got their way. And this was caused by human beings, not something that he ate or stood on or was standing on. This is the problem right here. Should we put it in red? Personal preference trimming. That is what has gone on here. All of this. They've been lucky with the front feet, and he's been largely looking after those himself. But they've gone to town on the hind feet and have not understood what they were doing. Stop sharing. What do you think of that, peeps?
It's gobstacking, isn't it? It's words. There are no words.
Do we have hoof picks on this case? So interesting. I do, but I'm not going to share them just right now because we are still in a very. I mean, I probably shouldn't have shared all that, but we are in a position where it's a little bit. Ooh, vets aren't going to find us and see this because they're not in the Phoenix groups. They're not going to see it, and eventually, by the time it gets to YouTube, it will have moved on quite a bit. It's going to be taken from the clinic, and we're going to work with him and the owners, and we're now going to start rehabbing those feet, those hind feet, and bring him back to some semblance of a normal foot again within reason, because he'll have some damage in there. Oh, Meta's here. Hello. Charlotte says, very late and a little drunk. Really?
Good for you.
Why? What have you been doing? Charlotte, tell us more. Celebrating. Wonder what she's celebrating. Do you know what she's celebrating? Has she said it in the admin groups? Admin's group. I've missed it.
Not that I've seen. Not that I've seen.
I know. So sad. So sad. I am glad she found you all so she can make her horse better despite the vets. I know. I am too. Horrifying work. And that was Granny. Granny was the one that found us. Granny went out for her granddaughter who's breaking her heart and her daughter and just went searching. And she was the one who found us. Horrifying work. And then to pull the PTS card is shocking.
I know. It's just ridiculous, isn't it?
I was talking to Jude.
For 1 foot that's been PPT'd. That's going to have to be my new swear word. Otherwise, I'll get into trouble. PPT.
I was talking to Judith, who is one of our HMB pros up in Scotland, and Judith is a doctor, and Charlotte's a doctor, and Alison, I know you're a doctor, and she said to me, as indeed, Alison, this will have happened to you, and Charlotte, this will have happened to you. You know, you have to deal with people in all sorts of awful situations, but you have to try and find a pathway through. You have to. You have no choice, right? You have to try and find a pathway through as best that you can. And Judith said to me, that's what I've done. That's my career. You know, I work with people all the time that have problems and sicknesses and illness, and you know, and we have to work the best that we can to try and pathway through. She said, but what I didn't realize when I started going out trimming, was that so many things are so very, very similar. People become very dysregulated in the situation that they're in because they've got a very sore horse. They've got a horse who's suffering, a horse who's in pain. It causes them to have all kinds of different emotions that they're not dealing with, sometimes definitely not very rationally, because obviously it's bringing up all these heightened emotions. And she said, and so in some respects it's very similar dealing with these owners. Instead of it being a human being, it's a horse, you know, but it's still a very similar situation with the way that they're dysregulated, etc. She said, so that part of it I was able to work with quite well, but the bit that I never factored in was the put to sleep card. Because Judy's putting all her effort into helping these owners, and you're getting so far along the way, and then the vets come along and go, oh, we're going to put it to sleep now. Judy's like, oh, right, but that, what? And it's dumbfounded her, because vets have a therapeutic option that doctors don't. If it ain't working and we can't fix it, and therefore we're going to pull the welfare card and go, well, you know, is it fair to keep on going on like this when we've not fixed it in the past? And in a way, you can kind of understand why they say that, right? Because their future, their pathway is failure, usually, when it comes, especially when it comes to hoof care. And let's face it, that's over 75, 80%, if not more, of the, probably far more, in fact, of the reasons that horses are, vets are called out for horses, because it's lameness issues, usually. So you'd think, wouldn't you, that they'd be cracking hoof care experts now, but they're not. Because it's the hoof care, the hoof capsule bit that they don't get taught. They get taught about the bones, they get taught about sicknesses incorrectly when it comes to laminitis, and they get taught about, especially when it comes to obviously rotation. But that actual therapeutic option, there it comes. That's heart bar shoe, and after that, if that doesn't work, you know, it's like going onto a football pitch and yellow card is the heart bar shoe and red card is the PTS card. Sickening.
And there ain't many cards, is there? There ain't many.
Totally sickening. Oh, Charlotte says she's celebrating having a lovely session with my chiropractor and finishing work. That's all. Oh, I don't think I'm going to ask more about that. Oh, darling. I hope you have a lovely evening. Wish I was with you. So pleased we're helping. We are. Vivian says it's a shame when the professionals just don't know what they're doing and suggest PTS. As I said to her, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So glad her grandmother found us. And I'm sure Garry and Lindsay sat here when this goes off onto YouTube and people will watch it and go, what are they talking about? We've been dealing with rotation and laminitis and separation. Of course, it's a DDFT pulling P3 through the capsule. That's what we were told. Prove it.
There ain't any proof. Every time that they try to prove it, it's not there.
We prove otherwise. It's not the hoof care. P3 can rotate like that overnight. Prove it.
No, that can't. They've gone down the wrong rabbit hole.
The hoof capsule, I've seen it. P3 sinks like that through the hoof capsule overnight. Prove it.
They can't. They really can't.
My horse's feet were trimmed absolutely fine, like those two that I showed you, the front left, front right. P3 rotated. Right. I'm just going to go back and look at those for a minute. I'm going to show you something. Let's just go back to our personal preference trimming. Let's just look at this, for instance. Look at this one because we've got a full foot here. Let's look at this, right? Suddenly, DDFT, let's put a big F. I'm going to make that very big. I'm going to put a big F for frog. I'm going to give it a big red F. And that frog sits just here, right? There it is. So before your very eyes, are you telling me on a foot like this, when it suddenly gets laminitis, that here's the DDFT, you can just see the shadow over there. It's going to go, whoosh, pull that up, and this is going to go, where's it going? Exactly.
Can't go anywhere.
And what's it going to do? So let's just leave Froggy there. Because obviously Froggy can't move now, can it? Where's my rotator? That's just wee. Oh no, it's going to just it's gonna hang on a minute. I'm going to do that differently because that's just going to look ridiculous. Let's just draw around P3 and then I'll move that. Hold on a minute, because I can't do it on this because obviously it won't move. So I'm going to draw a line instead. Hold on a minute. So let's just draw in our P3. Oh, that's a bit thick, isn't it, Linz? Okay, there we go. Let's draw it in. Right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that and that. Just going to group that. And I'm going to do that. Right. Frog can stay put, is it? What's happening to the frog? This never moves. Never, ever moves in relation to the tip of P3. So if we're going to rotate it overnight, then you better see that frog shift. Frog's going to have to go back as well because they are connected. Have you ever seen that before your very eyes? Watch frog suddenly rocket back through the hoof, back along the sole. You ever seen it do that? Garry, I can't stand it any longer.
But we're the nutters. Like banging your head against a brick wall.
Catherine says the PTS card is pulled too much. They wanted to do the same for mine. Yeah.
You're right.
Totally agree with Judith's shock. Absolutely. Jenny says, if this presentation was done to the vets, how can they not understand this is down to poor trimming?
The thing is, we said it all before, they'd have too many questions. A 1 hour presentation for vets and farriers or anybody in the equine industry that wants to learn is never going to be enough because there would always be other questions. Always. There will be so many.
But
it would
that
take
is
a minimum. It would take a minimum of 3 days.
But that
presentation,
yes, but that presentation right there with that one hind that has a rotated P3 because of laminitis, we could just sit there and go, right, okay, so metabolic, was it? He's perfectly fine, and there's nothing happened to the other 3 feet other than shitty hoof care on the other hind. Supporting limb, was it? No, it's a hind foot.
So what was
septic,
it then?
Toxic? He's not got an infection. He's not toxic. He's certainly not a mare, and he's not just given birth. He's just not toxic. So what was it then? So sad. My greatest fear is to screw up my horse's feet. I follow what you are teaching us, but still new at this and so afraid to mess them up. Good thing I have Lydia helping me, and we are doing quite well so far. Proper hoof care. You're not going to screw it up, Louise, because you've got us.
Yeah, you're following the constants. And let's face it, look at that case. You can't do any worse, can you? You really can't. And that's from professionals. You really can't do any worse. If the professionals aren't listening, then owners have got to take it on board. And they might not like to hear that. Or
of course they don't want to hear it.
Of course they don't want to hear it.
It's awful. I get it. If I was the other side of the fence right now, peeking through, well, I would be peeking through. They don't peek through. They've got the back to it. Right? They've got the back to the fence. I'd have my face to the fence like that. I'd be squished up next to the fence, my nose poking through the little slats. I'd be like trying to poke through and see what was going on. That's what I would be doing. But the majority of people go, no, got back to the fence. But something's going on over there. We need to go and have a look at what's going on over the other side of the fence. No, put too many horses to sleep for that. I don't want to go down that face that. That'd be awful. I put down 200 horses and I've only been vet for 6 years. I'd be like, get me a ladder. Somebody get me a ladder. I'm going. Because something's going on over there and we're not taught that. And if I'm not taught it and they're getting horses better, I want to know why. Oh, no. Got to know why. I'd be climbing that fence, jumping over. Well, that's what I did do. That is what I did. I got the ladders. I climbed the fence. I jumped over and I saw the light, as they say. And they're still stood there, all lined up with their backs against the fence. Not looking. Well, do you know what? We're getting a big stick and we're poking them through the fence like that. Oi! Listen, stop doing that. You've got to stop saying that. Stop putting these horses down because you're doing the wrong thing. You've got to stop doing it. And my stick is going to turn into hundreds of thousands of sticks as owners start taking this on board themselves. So Louise, you are not alone. You are not alone. You're in the right hands. We have you. So when you get scared and you get worried and you think I'm not doing the right thing, you take a photograph and you send it to us and we go, yeehaw, or it's okay, tweak this, tweak that. That's all you have to do. Simple. The thing is, it's so simple, I think, in the world. It's so simple that they think that it can't truly be right. Because things have got to be difficult, right? We've got big brains. We've got to make everything really difficult. Break over, lever forces.
Complicated.
It's not. It's so not. It's so easy. It's a bit of elbow grease and having good eyes, being able to balance. Honestly, it's easy. And what they do is they make it really difficult. Now, okay, it's not easy to go out and do 15 horses a day. That's when things start to get, and also deal with all the pathologies and deal with all the owners and understand all the other backstory to it. But as an owner, it's not difficult to do your own horse because you're in control of everything, diet, management, and then you're in control of the trim. When I put an ad out, or a post out on the Facebook page a couple of days ago saying, hello, everyone, come and book for Scotland and Norfolk. You can trim your own horse, knowing damn well that that's going to poke the world with a big stick. It's inundated by people going, how ridiculous, it takes a farrier 4 years to learn to do this stuff. What stuff? 4 years, and you're sending people out. That stuff that I've just shown you, just that stuff. Never seen an owner do that to their horse.
No, I haven't either.
Nope. Not under our tuition, that's for sure. Where are we? Lots and lots of comments. Melanie says this treatment would not be allowed to continue in humans. Of course, because they can't keep failing. I can hear a cat meowing. Because they can't keep failing. Well, they have to find a way through, right? And like I said, thank God these people don't fly planes. And it does sound a bit rude. I'm sure it does. Maybe it sounds a bit... Does it sound disrespectful? I don't know, really. Perhaps it does. But I've got to the point now where I am sick and tired. Well, I was at that point years ago. But now, honestly, I've got battle fatigue. Garry and I have got battle fatigue. It is ridiculous. And there's another one. And if I had a tally along my wall, I'd have tallied up right around my entire house 3 or 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's another 5 gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because we see it everywhere. People put it all over their Facebook posts, don't they? It's awful. I had to let go of my lovely horse today. Had another laminitis attack, and it's gone. Now, it very well might have had an endocrinopathic problem, a metabolic problem, EMS. They are real. PPID. These things happen. They are real. Are they born out of incorrect diet and management? They sure as hell are. 99.9% of them. So that's a problem that we can eradicate like that. But was your horse truly put to sleep for that? Or was your horse put to sleep because it had rotated P3s? Because when that happens, and that's the biggest problem that we have, massive.
Yeah.
That was incorrect hoof care. PPT.
And I've said it before, no lessons learnt ever. None whatsoever.
No jumbo jet fell out of the sky, Garry.
For that to happen in any industry or any business, to not have a system where when something goes wrong, they don't have an investigation as to why it went wrong, which is a lessons learned, the business just wouldn't survive. It just wouldn't survive. So why is this business surviving with so many horses coming to their demise? And it's not the owner's fault. It's not the owner's fault. It's hiding all the evidence. That's what it's doing.
Please tell me.
The cynic in me dies with the horse.
Absolutely, Garry. And the failure. They're
As soon as that horse is put to sleep,
gone.
that evidence is disappeared and it's just hearsay. That's what it is, because all the evidence has disappeared.
Except we've got
That's the reality.
We've got x-rays. Can I show you something else that I'm just working on for a oh no, not that one. I don't want to show you that. I'm working on for a post. Let me show you this. Where is it? What have I done with it? Here it is. So some lovely people, and this is so sad, so sad, but some lovely people send me x-ray histories because I want them. If honestly, I will put another call up soon in the Phoenix group, but people send me x-ray histories. We need them because the x-ray histories tell you a story.
Yeah,
they really do. And here's one. Can you see it? Hang on a minute.
Not yet, because you're not sharing it.
Here's one. Here's an x-ray history. Sorry, it's a little bit fuzzy. So here we have in 2020 this horse. I'm sorry it's fuzzy, but that is unfortunately what I ended up getting. So, but I'm sure you can see it. This horse in 2020 had hyperpositive P3, but at that point then could have been saved. It was already going through a little bit of degeneration. Sorry, it's a bit fuzzy, but look how high the heels are. Look at the coronary bands, practically horizontal. These high, taking the toe off, scared of lever forces, because the foot was distorting. The foot was distorting because the heels kept going up. So they're never going to get the hoof capsule growing in next to a hyperpositive P3. It's just not going to happen, right? So this horse could have been sorted out, this pony, right back then. But no, they ignored that and left the heels high. And in 2021, after a year of been walking around on this hyperpositive P3, it was going degenerating. Still taking the toe off, not able to balance, still high heels. By the time we got to 2022, look, still incredibly high heels. In fact, slightly higher than they were back then. And now we've got nothing left there. Still taking the toe off, still putting the pressure through the sole, straight to the problem area, directly to it. Boom, straight on it, right there, straight on it, right there, straight on it, right there. Do you see? Every single x-ray. By the time we got to 2023, there was barely anything left. Still no toe. Still walking. Look at the bit that's actually touching the ground. You can see dark through there and dark here. Look where it's touching the ground. And by the time it got to this stage, I guarantee to you that this pony will have had many different, probably several, if not many different hoof care professionals, vets, work with your team, they say. What team? There's many of them. It's not sunk through the capsule. Look where the sesamoid bones are. They haven't moved. Look. Do you see? They haven't shifted. But look at the state of this heel. even higher than it was back here. It's not the same size, so you can't tell, but it is. Now, rather than just say, well, actually, and this is the awful thing, and you know, this pony is not going to survive now, right? It can't. It will be crippled. It will have terrible. But on the outside, if you covered the bones up and you looked at the hoof capsule, to many people, they think that hoof capsule looks fine on the outside. Hiding. Yeah. No wonder, you know, they call it the coffin bone because they say that the hoof capsule is like a coffin because it encapsulates the bone. Well, that is a coffin. Because right inside there is a bone that didn't need to end up like that. And then they go drawing all these lines and angles on it and go, oh, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. Oh, it's too late, guys. Way, way too late. In fact, 3 whole years too late. Because you should have fixed it then. And this is common as muck. Let's look at the other side. Again, this is different.
Can I just say one word before we look at the other side?
Yeah. Oh, I can't see you.
This is supposed to be welfare. Is this supposed to be welfare? Shocking, isn't it?
It's a funny
Shocking,
version.
isn't it?
It's a funny version of welfare.
They pull the welfare card with long toes. They pull the welfare card with long toes. Well, if this isn't a welfare issue, I don't know what is. This poor horse has been in agony for years.
2020.
That's a welfare issue.
Absolutely. Could have stopped it then. Taking the toe off, separation because the heels are so high, getting infection in there. That's lame. Not surprised it's lame. X-ray. Right there, right then, they could have gone, whoa. I mean, we wouldn't even need an X-ray. We'd have gone, whoa, get the heels down, guys. Grow some foot. Don't get the horse off the tip of P3. No. Take more toe off. The heels could do with coming down a little bit, but no, it's the toe that needs to go. Stop the lever forces. That'll stop the laminitis. It's tearing. Because that whole mechanical tearing bit, they've kind of slunk away from that. They don't talk about that so much, really, the scientists. It's really those top 3 are going to slunk away from the mechanical. Although that keeps coming up now and again. Look, 2022, both front feet. Look where the sesamoid bones are. They're not moving. Proximal sesamoids. Heels still high. Now we've got, look at the pressure. Poor old P3. Oh, I've got those the wrong way around. Beg your pardon. 2021 should be in front of that. I thought, well, it's suddenly grown P3. 2021 should be there. 2022 should be that side. I'm like, crikey, that was weird. But there we go. So from 2020 to this one, to 2021 to 2021. It's happening. Why didn't they spot it? No, it's laminitis. Now we're into 2022. Disaster now already. And a year later, we're drawing lines all over it. Lines, angles, talking about it. Nobody, have you noticed none of those lines and angles are at the back? On the heels? Oh, no. Oh, my God. So thank you to the person who sent me those, and I am so sorry you lost your pony.
A great lesson, though. A great lesson.
Right, we need to bring this to an end. Let's just.
So
you remember day 65? Was it 65 or 64? Which I will never upload to YouTube. It will stay in the Phoenix group forever.
It was day 64.
But nobody will see it because I'll have taken it off the thing. I have still got it, but day 64, when I wept, that's why I cry. Because we've got battle fatigue.
Yeah.
Because we see it over and 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 over again.
It is relentless.
Every day.
I was saying to Lindsay the other day that, and we both get exhausted by seeing these things, as do our pros. And I have to say, I was saying to our pros, did we see the amount of crap hoof care that our students are having to deal with because of the Phoenix group as early on in our career? No, we didn't. Oh my God, they have got such a job on their hands.
Oh my God,
way more than what Lindsay and I did back in the day, because we were only looking after a little patch. But now, because of, I suppose you could say, the effective publicity and the success of the Phoenix Way, it's just, they've had to up their game so much. I take my hat off to them, because it's tough out there. It really is. They're seeing many more cases tough than we ever did. It was the odd one or two, and yes, we learn. But
in our early days, we didn't.
In their arsenal, though, they have the knowledge to deal with it, which makes them super strong.
But emotionally strong, it's not easy.
It's challenging. It's challenging. They have to look after each other.
They do.
They have to. They do.
They really,
that's
very
so important. You can't go out there and do this job and be on your own.
And we are out on our own as HM, but we're not, because we've got you guys. But the rest of the world.
Yeah, the other side of the fence, turning the back on it and trying to ignore it.
Because it's not that. Somebody told us it's
not
something else.
It's not happening.
Jackie says, someone said to me the other day, P3 is rotating and is dropping through the hoof caps. I said, it's not possible. They said, why? I said, it's attached to the bones all the way up the leg. I've only done your challenges.
Yes. And that's why
where's it going?
Everybody needs that 3 days. Everybody that owns a horse needs that 3 days. And that's
3
not
days, all the challenges.
money.
Online challenges.
3 days, or the 15 and 10-day challenges. That's what people need, because then so many of these horses wouldn't get into that state. As soon as things started to go wrong, you would know how to fix it or where to go to fix it, and it would fix very quickly.
Nikki says, Gary, did you get that mark on your forehead from banging it against a brick wall? Banging it against the fence. Louise says, Charlotte, thank you. Yes, because Charlotte said, Louise, you will do so much better than most because you're respecting the natural. You will, Louise, you'll be fine. Don't be scared.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Vivian says, have they not seen dissections on how tight all the tissues and bones are in the hoof? Like you said, it's not hanging willy-nilly in the hoof capsule. No, it isn't.
It's not. Even on a compromised foot, it's not hanging about in there willy-nilly.
But you saw that picture. I really should end this live. We've got to go, but I just.
But we're on a bit of a rant now.
Just to let me just go back to HM. Just go back to the HM page a minute. To this image that I put up. Right, this one. Right, which I also put up in the Phoenix group. Let me just bring this up. This right there is the issue. In one trim. Oh, where's it gone? It's gone over there. No, it's there. Where are you? In one trim, same foot, same horse, in one trim, you can see, can't you, how you can completely screw it up. And then where do you go? So this is us, la, 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 hoof all on the ground, keeping the heels down. This horse had higher heels, so we're keeping it down. It needs to come down, keeping it down. Next trim, all the way down. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Here's coronary groove. That's where everything needs to be tightly packed in there, Vivian, with a great big digital cushion behind it. Where's it swing and do? How's it swing through there then?
How does it swing through the frog that's attached to it?
Here's the tip of the frog.
How can it swing through the frog when the frog's on the ground?
Right. So
ridiculous.
But let's on this one, let's take the toe off because we're frightened of lever forces and tearing the laminae. Oops. I don't really know. I haven't got any landmarks anymore. I don't. This one, yes, I can see my landmark. Here I'm like, nope. Oh well, next time I come and trim, wonder what I'll do. Next time I'll come and trim, I'll definitely keep taking the toe. Keep taking the toe. Keep taking the toe. How much you going to take? Well, enough. Right. I know exactly how much to leave here because the horse shows me precisely how much. How much are you going to leave? Well, today I'm going to take a little bit more than I did last time because it's not getting better. I think he needs more relief on the toe. What about the heels? What about the heels? Well, are you going to bring them down? Well, no, because if I do that, this hoof wall's going to go shooting out here. So every time we bring the heels up, guess what happens? P3 gets more hyperpositive because we're trying to keep this in line with the hoof. Can you see from this? You think back to those x-rays that I've just shown you of that pony. Does this foot look like that pony's foot? Right
the
back
first one.
At the beginning.
First one.
The first x-ray.
The first one that could be saved. In
2020. The first x-ray where they could have saved it. And we trot along, diddly, 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 dee, do this. And look, we've saved the pony. What do? No. They keep going at it, going at it, going at it, going at it. It has to be taken off. Anyway, there we go. Sorry. Get some of my titties. Alison says, it's so hard getting those with ingrained beliefs to admit that they're teaching us flaws and that they need to open their minds. After all, they're intelligent professionals.
Intelligent? Down the wrong rabbit hole.
If I did worse or just as bad, I would hang myself. No, you wouldn't do that. But you wouldn't. It'd be awful. You'd never forgive you. You'd never forgive yourself. And maybe that's why the equine world's gone, don't stop.
It's hard for humans to admit when they're wrong.
If it's HM really are telling us the truth,
it's really hard.
Holy hell. If I was the other side of the fence, I'd be thinking that this makes sense and what I've been taught is wrong. How frightening, though, to run away from what you've been taught. Although, in fact, they're not taught that much when it comes to equines and hoof care. Nothing. Until they go to the equine practice, and then they have to do it the boss's way, which is the way he's been doing it, or she's been doing it for years. You and Garry are heroes. No, you guys are the heroes.
No, we're not.
Now
the horse owners that share their stories are the heroes.
Thank you for saying that.
But thank you.
When I questioned the treatment of pedal bone rotation, shoes and toe chopping, my vet said he is not a professional farrier and take advice from a professional farrier. Right? Woo! Slopey shoulders. And then what happens is the farrier comes along and says, I have to do what the vet tells me. Void right down the middle. He told me to do that. No, I didn't. You did. You said use a heart bar shoe, so I did. Yeah, but I didn't tell you. I didn't tell you to do the other bits. You did. You said to take the toe off. Truth is simple. And it so is. So is. I love you poking the stupid people on your public page. Thank you, both of you. You are so welcome, Louise. We've got you. I don't think your posts sound disrespectful at all. You are just saying it like it is. Do you have any pics of MPA? So afraid of getting MPA when trimming, balancing heel to toe is so difficult. We do have loads of pics of NPA, but the best thing you can do is send me pics of your horse, and then we can check to see if you've got the balance right. That's the best thing to do. Yeah. Who saw Wonderful Wex trotting after the hay today? Did he? I didn't see that today. Yeah.
Good boy, Wex.
He'll never
Lovely
survive.
boy, lovely boy. When we got to see him and stood next to him, you don't realise how big he
Oh,
is.
he's really tall.
He is really tall. And I'm used to big horses, but I really didn't expect him to be as big as he was.
Oh
Gentle
my goodness.
giant he is.
He is so tall. I haven't got the picture here, but we posted it up, didn't we? I went up to him, and now you see all that some people, many more people, because he's a poster boy, because he's beautiful and he's tall and he's, like Dan said, a real horse. That's what people say. I mean, obviously they're all real horses, and Dan was taking the mickey, as in Bethan's husband, but he said people are listening because he looks like a real horse, because this is a horse that could event, that could jump, that could, do all sorts of, things, really. And he had P3 rotation and his soles broke apart. And now look at him, because we've put his feet back to where they need to be. He's growing out all that damage. Has he got other damage in his body because of what happened to him? Probably. I think he's only 13 years old, isn't he, Garry? He's only 13.
Yeah, he's not an old boy, is he? He's not old. He should be in his prime. Should be in his prime.
Alison says, poor pony, the ones with the x-rays. She says, so much pain and suffering that could have been averted. Team. Well, that's just doesn't work when none of them understand or are prepared to demand to rethink. Absolutely. Can you imagine, Alison, if your team of doctors, if they were all going rogue and nobody really had a solid protocol to work to? Well, they do, but it was failing. You'd be like, I think we need to change this, guys. What professional looks at these x-rays and say continue with the same treatment for over 3 years? Well, part of the problem is continuity.
Because they don't look at the history.
And we don't have continuity. There's no history continuity going on. So different vets, different x-rays. Don't like that vet, go to another one, charge me more or whatever. Charge me more. So there's no continuity. The owners have the continuity, but they don't know what they're looking at, which is why they then send it to me and I go and explain what they're looking at. And then they just... that was so my mare. I wish I'd found your gaze soon enough to save her. I know, Karen. We had big hugs, didn't we, at Galsworth? Made me cry. I stood up in front of 50 people and had a little weep. Even if the vets and farriers don't understand, surely they realise that a coronet that's coming close to parallel with the ground is wrong. So basic. No.
It is basic.
Isn't it basic? I'm sending you and all the HM Pro strengths to continue your important work. We need it. We need it. You are spreading the word far and wide. HM, TPW, Garry and Lindsay. We need all your love. We do. I don't think vets do or see hoof dissections or sections like this. They see x-rays, so don't see the soft tissues, and I can only think that they don't engage the brain.
No comment.
Good night, guys. Good night, Jackie Kennedy. Thank you for everything. I think vets only think what Farmer says they should think. That's a whole new ball game that we could open up there. Whole new can of worms. It's great the HCPs and vets are joining this group. It is. And I do apologise if I do sound a bit, because you all guys know me now quite well, and Garry. When you get to meet us one day, hopefully many of you will. Let's have conferences, shall we? I do apologise if I come across as a bit blunt and a bit harsh sometimes when it comes to talking about other hoof care professionals and other equine professionals, but I cannot even find it in my heart anymore. I don't even have a tiny little bit, a slither left in my heart to just say, oh, well, wasn't their fault. I can't, because I've just seen too much suffering. Garry's seen too much suffering. Our pros are seeing too much suffering. One of our pros said to me the other day that she went to another case where it was a pony hiding in the back of the stable because it was terrified and in pain. And she turned up and it stared at her with bright eyes, white, scared eyes, white eyes. And she said, I swallowed it and just went, come on, you can do this. And worked with the pony, and the pony started to relax, but obviously had lots of problems with the feet. And the owner was like, thank you so much. Thank you so much. She got in the car. She went, it's okay. It's okay. Gave her as much support as she possibly could. And this owner was so grateful and so thankful that this lady had spent all this time with her. But nobody was there for we were. But she left and drove away and pulled over in a lay-by and cried. She couldn't get home. She pulled over in a lay-by and sobbed. It's distressing. So I haven't even got a slither left. There's not a slither left in my heart until they stop. When they stop, my heart might open up again. But I'm telling you now, if people are doing this and they're all doing it, there's no slither in my heart for you. So that's why I sound tough, blunt, harsh. We've got battle fatigue. Thank you, as always. Great work you're continuing to do. That's what Greg said about the experts when he took his horse barefoot in the Euston Police Department. They didn't want to know. They left, didn't they? They walked the other way. They didn't even have their backs against the fence. They just walked the other way.
They just walked the other way and never came back, never even looked back. Didn't want to see the evidence.
You've been trying to educate the crime law for so long. I gave up after trying to educate the politicians for years, I remember. You carry on. I don't know how you do it. We do it now because of you guys. That's why we do it.
Yes.
The horse world needs the hard truth. Enough of these comforting lies. I'm sick of it too. It's time to get real, and I love seeing people willing to just say it. Thank you, Jade. Thank you. Right, we're going to go hour and a half this one. It's full of good stuff though, wasn't it? It was full of stuff. It was full of good stuff. I enjoyed that. Well, I mean, I don't enjoy it.
We don't enjoy it, but it helps us get it off our chest and share our troubles.
Yeah, it does.
Share our woes.
I'm going to go and eat something. It's 10:30 here and I've not eaten yet. No, it's not. It's 20 to 11. My electricity keeps going off. I can't fix it. Garry has tried to fix it. Everybody's trying to fix it now. I have to wait for the electricity board. And I can have lettuce. I could go eat some lettuce now.
Well, come and use my cooker. I'm not going to bake it.
All right, my lovelies. So lovely seeing you again. We'll see you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow.
Take it easy.